Welcome back to the Tailosive EV podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Hell has officially frozen over. Cybertrucks have been delivered.
We made it.
It happened. It wasn't delayed, Randy, Mr. I'm right all the time. How do you feel?
Those aren't real deliveries.
That's not a real truck. Oh, that's a nice mug you got there, Mike.
Thank you. I don't know what you're talking about. Water. But
Me too.
they didn't even drive the deliveries off themselves, right? They had the employees drive the Cybertrucks and their owners.
Weren't the owners also
Supposedly-
employees?
That's what I'm figuring they are. Where do we even start with this? Randy, what was your reaction, I guess? Because at least I was flabbergasted.
I came into this a bit late. I came
So
into
did
this
Elon.
a bit late because Elon was dragging his feet, and I had stuff to do. Today could not have been a worse day for delays, but alas, here we are. And after around 3:15 my time, or 3:20 my time, I told my wife, I was like, time to go. Let's just, we got to go run these errands before it gets too late. And so I pulled the event up on my phone while I'm driving, and the first thing I hear is,
Oh, God.
"Now, we tried this 4 years ago," and that was my introduction to the event, and I was like, "What's happening?" That's the very first thing I heard was, "We try." Now, if you remember, we tried this 4 years ago, and then I saw the limpest, weakest toss. My 11-month-old son can throw harder in 2023.
I believe it.
And that was the most timid, don't break it, that I saw. And it just, if this was the
That's
ball,
not the worst
it
part.
went. It was bad. So
Did it even
that
hit
was-
the window? It looked like it hit the door to me.
I think he missed on the first, to be honest.
He
That-
he
And
threw
also-
a,
that's
a
not-
baseball where last time he threw a big steel
It was
ball.
not the steel
Ball bearing.
ball. Why even attempt it? Why even show yourself? Like, that was so embarrassing. I can't decide what's worse. Breaking the window again or throwing
I
it
sold
with
all
a...
my stock. I was so over it.
Yeah, how is the
I
stock
don't-
doing? I haven't looked.
I haven't looked
I don't
either.
know. I know that my truck is also the same durability as the Cybertruck because I can
Yeah.
also throw a softball or baseball at it and it doesn't
And my Model
break.
3. I could,
I'm about
I
to
could
throw
do
my
that
kid
with
at my
Model-
car and be like, "Look, see, durable."
About to call Child Protection Services.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was it's amazing that they had an extra 3 years to prepare for this delivery event, and it still felt last second planned. Like, okay, the intro animations are great, right? Like the Halo looking.
Oh, it's all beautiful.
Yeah, it's in space, and they're showing all these little. There's all the 3D models, and I was like, okay, this is going to be fun. It's like 20 minutes late or whatever. Starts, can't see a thing. They didn't have a single light on Elon, and then they had to cut to this random camera guy that didn't know where Elon was. and
Shot
he's
on
like,
iPhone. It was shot on iPhone. I'm telling you, that
Felt
was
like
shot on iPhone. I mean that very literally. Some guy last minute pulled out his
No.
iPhone 10R
No.
and shot on the thing.
Randy, the event would have been so much better if it was shot on iPhone. Let's be honest. It would have. We saw the last Apple event.
I jumped on your stream when I thought something was wrong. Like, am I messing up? But when I was like 310, I go on EV real quick and I'm like, nope. Drew's just sitting there stalling. Everybody's just call this Russia because everybody's stalling.
YouTube was throwing in mid rolls like crazy, so I'll take it. I'm okay stalling as long as Tesla wants to take. Mike got like 5 ads within like 2 minutes or something.
It was about 2 unskippable ads every like 10 minutes was what the trend was going at until finally someone else also acknowledged it. You're like, oh, I guess if someone else besides Mike is also seeing this, I should probably look at the settings then.
Well,
and change it.
you're a staff member. I'm not.
Okay,
You're
I'm
Tailosive
sorry.
official. You don't count as the audience anymore. You've been You don't
I've
get to really
graduated from
complain.
audience.
You-
Remember
you
this?
have
When
been
I first started
unplugged from
listening to
the
this
Matrix.
podcast, I was the only person listening to Tech and EV. You recall that?
True.
And then you brought me on because you're like, well,
Yeah.
let's just bring this guy on
Yeah.
since he's leaving comments all the time.
Now
It's
no
gone
one's
full
listening.
circle at this point. Yeah,
Yeah.
told you. We
Yeah.
need someone else to fill in as an audience member.
Okay. So the production quality was pretty horrible. It felt to me like, well, I had kind of expected this, but Elon didn't seem like he had seen the presentation before. I
Just
think
like
he
before.
was viewing the slides for the first time on
He
stage.
said, "More truck than truck." Ha 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 ha.
More
which is
sports
not
car
what
than
the
sports car.
PowerPoint said, by the way.
Nope.
That's literally my bro.
Did anything, okay, before we get into range and price, because that's probably the biggest topic, was there anything else before that, which was all on the website, that stood out to you, like the towing the Porsche 911? Did that impress you?
I think it's expected. I was thinking about that for a while because I think, was it someone, either Tesla or someone else, raced a Model X towing a Porsche against a Porsche, I believe.
Oh,
And it
yeah.
still did great. So I'm figuring this is pretty much paying homage to that with a Cybertruck versus a Porsche towing a Porsche. I think it would have been more impressive if it was a heavier Porsche, but I guess it's more funny having the car
True.
that you're racing be also on the trailer. But I'd say honestly, the thing that I found most interesting, it's super niche and it doesn't affect the truck at all. It doesn't it contributes nothing in terms of the utility for like the everyday user. But it being able to beat out the Rivian, the F-150, or I guess the F-150 Lightning, the Rivian, and then the F-350,
F-350,
diesel. In the was it the concrete sled pull test or the truck pull? I thought that was impressive to me, just to show like here's a standard that people use for their trucks, and we took the competition, threw them at it, and then took something that's really good at towing that
Yeah.
like the yard worker there was saying this is the all-star. Good luck trying to beat it. And Tesla's like, yeah, we beat it by, was it like 100 feet or something like that, or 50
Yeah, it was
feet?
it was a pretty big margin. That's a better test than the tug of war.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking when he brought up a poll test. I'm like, are we doing the tug of war again? Even though that was also controversial, but like didn't show anything in regards to utility of this truck. It's like, oh, this is a little bit better than two trucks trying to play tug of war on a hill, and you just got physics kind of playing into it. And it's like, well, it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. Whichever one's the most heaviest is basically going to win. But with
Yeah.
a cement sled, it's kind of hard to. I'd say it's a better test in my opinion, but that's what stood out to me in terms of like a lot of the different things that they showed, besides negating like the two important specs like range and price. But here nor there.
I didn't want to talk about that. Yeah. Okay.
What about you, Drew? Did you have anything that
No, I
sparked your
agree.
interest or that you're more interested in this event, even though it seemed kind of short?
Yeah, they always feel kind of long because they start late, but it wasn't actually very long of a presentation, nor was it a very well done presentation. But yeah, I agree with you. The poll test against the competitors was probably the best look. The being bulletproof and let's feature Joe Rogan in our presentation. It's like, yeah, this is probably not the best demonstration of durability. I mean, it's cool that it's bulletproof, but like if you're in the truck, someone could just shoot at your head and it'll go right through the glass. So neat, but I wouldn't necessarily say perfect for the post-apocalypse. Actually, one thing that impressed me was that they shot at it and the windows were down. And then
Okay.
after they shot at it, the windows rolled up and they were fine, which meant that, okay, it's not just the bullets getting
Good
stuck
catch.
in the door somewhere. Yeah, the
Good
bullet
catch.
actually didn't penetrate it at all, which is good. So cool-ish, probably not a deal maker for people. I'm more just interested in like, okay, it's paintless, so it can get scratched and banged up, and you can wear any gashes as a suit of armor. But aside from that, I love the B-roll, honestly, as a Cybertruck content creator, not a reservation holder. there was so many beautiful shots of it off-roading, driving through the water and the mud, and it was kind of light on details. They didn't talk much about new camera feeds or the new software or anything, but the footage was beautiful. I still think the Cybertruck is like the most cool looking pickup truck I've ever seen,
I
especially
care more
after.
about talking about your hands-on like side of it than I do about the event. To be honest, I wanted to pick
Oh,
your brain
really?
about it. Yeah, just
Yeah.
from one observer to another, and then Mike got to do it on his. Like we all have seen different. Well, I haven't actually seen the RC version, but still,
Right.
just the fact of seeing something that looks fake in person, that's more interesting. But we'll get down that when we have time to kill, because I want to just I want us to hit the notes here.
Yeah. I saw two in one day, two separate ones.
That's cool. And now we're about to see
That's
a lot
pretty-
of them. At some
Hopefully.
point.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully as
That's
many
the
as
hope.
possible.
You guys are in, where you guys are at, you will see them. Me, I mean, maybe.
We don't know where you are. You're moving all over the place. You're in a different place every
We
week.
get updates all the time on trying to figure out where Randy is.
Where in the
It's always
world is
entertaining.
Randy Vasquez? That's a new game coming. Yeah,
I
I
like
think
that
the
I
event
lost my
was.
light.
Whoops, I can see you.
It's all right.
It was light on details, but I'm grateful that even through the work of Twitter and having to ask executives at the event and playing around with the website, we were able to get some answers on the trims.
Yeah.
We can dive into that if you guys don't have anything
I
else
would love to.
noteworthy. Okay.
I would love to talk about these trims, especially with like all the controversy around all of it. And controversy is maybe playing it lightly or maybe a little bit too ridiculous. Like it's not as controversial as you think, but also
in the tech
You would
in the
think-
Tesla bubble, this is a huge deal. This is
you
very
would think
controversial.
them adding specs or at least more specs would open up or I guess address a lot of our questions. But in fact, it just brought up more questions to our questions. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
We thought
no,
we
that's
got
right.
the answer that we were going to get the answers that we want to get. In fact, we got that plus more, and now I'm just even more confused, concerned, and excited by just
Yeah.
everything that's on the site right now. And which finally the website got updated, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's refreshing.
No more doors or door handles.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say pricing range wise was the biggest surprise to you guys?
I think I audibly gasped when Randy was totally correct with the price.
Say that again, Mike, for the Drew in the back.
What? Was I not right?
audibly gasped when Randy
I said the
was
launch
pretty much
edition would be
correct.
80,000.
No, Drew. No, you will not rewrite history.
What did I say?
Man, you said a lot just to try to. You did the Apple leak thing of saying all things at one point or another, so that way you're never technically wrong. But no.
Exactly.
I've been
So I can't be
consistent, and that means you're consistently wrong. I knew what this was going to be. However, no. First,
You said
no,
it
sorry.
wouldn't-
Mike,
you said it'd be
finish,
delayed.
finish your thing though. Mike was. I don't want to cut him off.
No, you didn't cut me off at all. Just the fact that was it tri-motor or performance maybe aligns with what you're thinking, Drew, is around 99,990.
Yeah, everyone
Spot
said
on
that
as
was
well.
wrong.
That was
No,
pretty good
Drew.
in terms
They're
of...
not going to make
well,
a $100,000 Cybertruck.
You got one right at least in terms of that prediction. But it all kind of lined up in a favorable fashion, in my opinion. I was being a little bit more conservative in regards to, it's probably going to cost over $100,000. And so far,
So was
everything
Drew.
is under. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
Drew said they would only start with one, and it would be the most expensive one, if not the one that's going to be 90 plus or 9.
What did they say was delivered?
Huh?
Did they say which ones are in production?
I don't
If they
recall.
did,
if
I
this-
didn't catch it.
Probably
I don't
just
think so.
dual motor, right?
To me,
If the
my
ones-
point is right now, purchase price $60,990. Purchase.
That one's
in
that
2025.
one's that one's not even close. It could still
Whatever.
be killed off by then.
Okay, but all right. So if we're gonna do 2024, who said 80,000? This guy consistently. Drew was like too low, 90. No.
I said 80,000 for employees.
Viewers of the show,
They would go higher
please,
for non-employees.
If you have the time, Riley, where you at, brother? I need you, man. I need you to go in there. I need you to put our boy in check. He can have all his little Apple titles. Showed on iPhone there, but I need to.
Can we at least agree that no one expected single motor to stick around?
I did.
I don't think you did. I thought you kept saying that was going to get scrapped.
No, back then you and Nick were like, "That's the one that we would not get," like because you guys were so adamant that that's the one you would get, and then everyone's like, "Oh, it might go away." But I've always, if anything, we all said it will stick around. I know I said stick around, and it would be the last one to ship. 2025. I mean, that's the last one to ship.
Well, that's bold of you to claim because that's what Elon said would happen. So you're agreeing with.
Oof. Yeah, I don't
anti-Disney
like how
man.
that sounds. I don't want to agree with him. He's always wrong.
I was gonna say that's one way to go.
But
I am pleasantly surprised and glad that the rear-wheel drive is still a planned spec
Me too.
/ trim that Tesla's going to make.
I was most excited about that over all others because the very small likelihood of me ever getting a Cybertruck just went way up because of that. I was like, oh, really?
you guys are cute.
Sticking around.
I feel vindicated, validated. I feel great.
Good. So do I.
Now,
What do you think about the specs, Randy?
I'm gonna pull a I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna pull a Drew, and I'm going to say, and I wanted to save it to catch your guys' reaction, as one does. But
Oh, he's typing.
when
Randy's typing in chat.
Randy's typing in chat. I watched it with my wife because she's very invested in this, and the very first thing she did after we verified numbers. Go ahead, click.
Crap.
Oh, I thought I was gonna.
It's a
No, it's an
HEIC.
HEIC.
Darn it!
I have to
Sorry.
download it.
Assuming
This is
Okay, I'm
that is
downloading
okay.
it.
I
Your
got it.
cancellation request has been submitted.
Congrats, Randy.
Oh my
Your
God.
$100 is back in your wallet.
It was Brittany's $100.
Man, Tesla got an interest-free loan for
Yeah.
4 years. So
I mean, to be fair, I made over $100 in profit off of these guys over the last 4 years too. So
really,
it's okay.
Wow. Probably not 2 years, but interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
so was Brittany canceled because you guys got the Model Y and that's good enough, or were you disappointed by the specs? Is that your answer to the spec question? Why are you still typing?
Okay, so the very first thing she said was, "Where's the 500-mile range?"
Right.
That was all she wanted.
That's the very first. She goes, with a payload and tugging it like that 500. I don't want no 3. And then she's like, "Why is the most expensive one not the longest range if it's going to be having the payload and it has all that oomph?" So she
That's
goes,
a very good question.
"Why am I going to pay $100,000 and only get 320 miles? It's less than what the Model Y performance does right now that we have." And
Is it really?
that's on a
Wow.
I think it was like 327 or 321, something like that.
It's the same.
But
same thing.
now you have
5 miles.
and that's empty bed. You have to inquire okay, so what's the purpose of the $100,000? Because you want to do that showing off. That's the Mac Pro in the Apple Silicon lineup.
That's the Porsche 911 transport device.
That's the $400 wheels on your portable Mac Pro. And so she was like, where's the 400? No. And so she immediately and she reserved for tri-motor, and she cut it. I asked her, so do you feel that this validates our purchase for Model Y earlier this year? And she's like, yeah, we obviously still want to have the Tesla ecosystem as much as possible, but if these are the final numbers for now, she's like, nah, I'm not going to even I asked her, I was like, wait, don't you even want to entertain? Like, maybe when we could take delivery, maybe. And she goes, like, this is a chapter I'm ready to close now and focus on new things.
Wow.
We're different people
Good
now,
for her.
you know. And
Well-
4 years ago, we were those people. We're different people now. We're like,
Yeah.
we
A
have
lot's
too
changed.
many mortgages and stuff. There's too much going on. We're like,
Too
nope.
many, like multiple mortgages. Well,
yeah.
I'll play Elon's advocate for a minute here because
Don't you dare. You will not get another $8 from me.
as as a friend, I agree with you. You should stick with what you have. But as a content creator who wants to entertain all possibilities, if the main reason she was interested in the Cybertruck was the range, then shouldn't she be looking at the price of the dual motor? Because what is now called the all-wheel drive Cybertruck is qualifiable for the federal tax credit and better range. And with the range extender, which is a whole can of worms, should get over 470 miles, according to Tesla, which is not 500, but I don't know. Is a difference of 30 a deal breaker for her?
I doubt it. And, well, so the first thing is we still have to cancel the reservation because the reservation was for the tri-motor. So that was always
That's another thing Tesla's not being very clear on. Everybody was asking me that during the stream. They were like, do I have to order it again? And I was like, I don't know. Someone apparently on stream called them and they said, no, you don't. But then I had that exact follow-up question. If you ordered the tri-motor for the range.
That would have helped.
What is this? So Mike ordered again?
I ordered again.
I don't know why. What? Why, Mike? That's your name.
Yes, that's my name on YouTube.
Why? Why did you order a second time?
Cause I did kind of the. I'll get into all of it later, but basically at the end of the day, I was looking at the account page on my profile at my two reservations for the Cybertruck, the tri-motor and the dual motor with FSD.
You had a dual motor. Yeah.
It shows nothing. It doesn't say whether it's a dual motor or tri-motor at all, even when you hit manage order. It's just a blank page. With like some clickables for like,
okay,
do you want to cancel it? So I'm like, no, but I'd like to know which one is which. I kind of can tell which one's which by looking at the reservation number or whatever, but otherwise,
yeah.
It'd be nice to know that I've locked in with an update on that I've got a dual motor or a tri-motor. So just to be safe, I put in an updated order because I got stung on this in the past with the Model Y. I put in an updated order for the Cybertruck, all-wheel drive, 79990. No options because there's no options available. It's just, do you want to order one for $250, fully refundable? Yes or no?
So you've got like $450 tied up in this reservation.
Yes, but what's nice is I can bring it back just like Brittany. So, if it was non-refundable, then that'd be a bummer. But because it said fully refundable, I'm like, we'll put it in, and then if it appears that our previous reservations do come through with all the information that reflects what the current options are for the Cybertruck, then we'll get rid of the most recent one. I'll get $250 back.
Jeez. This is so confusing.
Exactly. That's what this whole thing has been.
Tesla sucks at this. Seriously. There's certain things they do great and other things they do terrible, and this is one of those things.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
This, not great.
Supercharging is great. The app software is great. The federal credits with the incentives, they're great prices, but
efficiency with charging, great.
The best communication is no communication. That's where they're at right now.
I've never had a good relationship with their communication. It's always been bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we, as our household, I mean, I can ask her, like, well, maybe that reservation could go towards the dual motor. But then there's like, hers locked her in with the FSD price that she's not interested in. Like, there's a lot that's just not interested in.
I'm locked in with FSD, which I don't care about.
Which
so
I
that's
don't
cool.
want. Yeah. So there's a lot
Mm,
about the Cybertruck that's like cool as a observer, but like at this point in
yeah.
our life, we're not gonna. I wouldn't spend 40,000 on a Cybertruck right now. I wouldn't buy. I'm not in the market for a vehicle for a very long
Yeah.
time. So we can
I
revisit this
understand.
maybe in 2025.
When
We'll
we have
see.
more answers, because we don't know what the
And
range
more
extender
trims.
costs.
That's the thing,
Right.
man. Like I don't know. There's a lot about it that's just what like
They
Well, I
delivered
don't know
in
if you guys
some
saw it.
regions, but under-delivered in other regions, where like they kind of met the dual motor in most specs that they originally announced. But for the
Except the
specs
price.
today, yeah. But for like the
Yeah.
higher spec ends for like I think maybe acceleration and range. Maybe I'm wrong in the acceleration. I have to look at the old figures again for 0 to
It's
60.
about, I think they said it would be under 4.5, which it is. It's 4.1. So the 0 to 60 claims are great. I don't think it matters as much for a pickup truck, but
Well,
the range
2.6
extender
for performance, which is amazing. But range extender, you're
2.6.
saying 2.6 for the Cyber
The
Beast trim.
Cyberbeast, which I honestly think no one should buy. I totally understand Brittany's confusion with that trim. In my opinion, of the three trims you can order, the Cyberbeast makes the least amount of sense. Because
If you don't like
not
range or
only,
you don't like performance, or yeah, if
yes,
you are a performance junkie and you love
if you're a
trucks,
performance
that is
junkie,
the
why are
vehicle
you
to
getting
get.
this truck?
It can beat a
Like,
911.
okay, but it's not going to beat a plaid. So if you like going fast, just get a plaid for like $20,000 less or whatever, or $10,000 less. I forget what the plaid Model S costs, but it's not 100 grand anymore. So it's not the fastest vehicle. You'll probably not feel like you're going as fast because you're sitting up higher. Um, it's actually not as fast as the plaid Model X. So I think the plaid Model X has more horsepower as well. The plaid Teslas have like 1,000 horsepower, whereas the Cyber Beast is 845 horsepower. So
Save
I don't,
10,000 and get a Model S is what you're saying.
or 5,000 and get an X if you wanted more seats than the Cybertruck. But yeah, it's very confusing trim. Also, it doesn't qualify for the federal credit or the point of sale rebate next year. So it's like a $30,000 price gap between Cyber Beast and all-wheel drive, and you get worse range. So I
but you
just
can race a Porsche, Drew. That's what it's all
While
about,
towing a
man.
Porsche.
it's purely just the acceleration. That's it. That's the only advantage. There's no
Yeah.
better towing. There's no better payload.
This is for the people who are still waiting for the Roadster. Their Roadster. This is
Yeah,
who
this
that's
is the
for.
road. I'm sorry. Hey,
Just make the
everybody who
Cyber Roadster at
reserved,
this point.
how about everybody who reserved a Founder Series Roadster? They get a free Cyber Beast.
They've earned it, literally.
They should get that.
There's a lot of money tied up. You're not
And then the
wrong.
rest of the money, the difference of the money, they pay it back. You get it refunded.
10,000 pound-feet of torque is a lot of torque.
What does that help with towing wise? If the towing payload capacity is still 11,000 on all-wheel drive and the Cyber Beast, what's the advantage of the pound torque per pound
Pound-feet of
thing?
torque?
You know more about
Pound-feet of
that than
torque.
I do.
I mean, it's all physics in the end. It's just able to output more power, basically. Horsepower and torque. Kind of go, well, they're not hand in hand. There are relations with them. But I guess what I'm getting at is you're able to, which is kind of weird. They still say that the towing capacity is the same for both, in which the
That's
weight
the
for
part that
both
confuses me.
are around the same as well. So you're just getting a lot more torque. Basically, you've got a lot more available headroom at very low speeds if you're hauling something or towing something that is super heavy and likely going to overstress the truck a bit. The performance will
Okay.
probably be able to accomplish it just a tad better than the all-wheel drive.
For 30 grand more,
Well,
you'll get
you got like
a tad better
3,000,
acceleration.
3 grand more for 3,000 pound-feet more of torque. So you are paying for it.
I don't visualize the all-wheel drive being that bad at towing, right? Like, You've got 600
Yeah.
horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. That's pretty good. So if you're towing even a big payload, I struggle to imagine someone being like, "Oh, the acceleration when towing sucks."
Well,
I
I'm
need
talking
that.
about niche use cases for maybe you're not even trying to get a quick 0 to 60 while towing or anything else like
Hmm.
that. It's maybe for just taking something from one side of the yard to the other. Yard being very ambiguous on whether you're a person in
Yes.
the suburbs or
Uh-huh.
anywhere else. The Cyberbeast should be able to output enough power than I mean a whole lot more than you need in terms of torque and horsepower compared to the all-wheel drive. But yes, just to wrap it all back around, all-wheel drive is the all-star for the Cybertruck trims.
Yeah, I agree. That's the only one I would recommend really to anyone. Cyber Beast feels very niche to me, but maybe I don't know enough about the performance truck market. Maybe a lot of people care about that, I guess. Well, I don't know. But
We can look into it. But yeah,
I,
so
s-
I also had the similar conversation, Randy, with my wife, and
Naturally.
where we landed honestly was like we're still unsure, and our truck is still doing fine. It's hit 50,000 miles after our road trip, so it's getting up there in terms of mileage, but it's not like we need to replace it immediately. It's still got plenty of life in it, and it's still towing what we need it to tow with not a lot of margin, but it still does the job. But even still, thinking about what is coming and what we're interested in, and basically the competition at this point for like an all-star towing EV machine is just two Rams, and one's not even a full EV, one's a hybrid. Uh,
yeah. Hmm.
the ability to, and what it sounds like from what Elon was saying, is basically this, even though the range extender, what it sounds like to be, is a unit that you put into the bed of the truck and plug it into the truck, and it's able to get you to 470 miles at the cost of not having as much bed space. If that lands in terms of cost, if you're adding like another 10,000 pounds, 10,000 pounds,
Dollars?
$10,000, sorry,
Mm.
$10,000 to the cost
We're in
of the dual
America.
motor. I
Yeah.
know, right? And then comparing that to whatever the price is going to be of the Rams, it might be equivalent. So what
Yeah.
I'm gaming on with this extra order slash kind of me kind of staying with the cards on the dual motor, because tri-motor's kind of out at this point. We don't really need it. Dual motor has the most range, which is
Hmm.
something that we speculated and turns out was true.
That made
And it
sense.
makes total sense as well logically. Uh, what am I trying to get? It might just stack up in price and in capability to what Ram is offering with the 1500 Rev, and also what the Ram Charger will, except for in range. The Ram Charger is going to be the king in range and sort of efficiency, or I guess being able to have a battery electric vehicle in the city and then being able to have that overhead with the V6
Hmm.
engine to take you towing further. You can't beat the Ram Charger in terms of what is known to be available on the market in the future. Uh, Cybertruck doesn't touch it. It gets to 470, and that's not even taking down the range in terms of towing, but that's also the same for the Ram Charger. I guess what I'm getting at is I would rather a fully electric vehicle at the end of the day, which is
Oh
why I was
yeah.
pleasantly surprised with the fact that they're offering a range extender. And even if it's going to be $10,000 or more, if it means I can go almost 500 miles, cut that in half to about 250 while towing, versus a hybrid like the Ram Charger, but I still have to worry about maintenance kind of at the end of the day, even though it's going to
Yeah.
be less, it's still going to be a factor. I would
Hmm.
rather in the end, even though that it may not break up in cost at the end of like the life of the truck, where like maybe having the Ram Charger at the end of its life was better in cost than it was with the Cybertruck.
Mm.
The fact that it's a stainless steel vehicle without paint, and I don't have to do really any maintenance on it, or like I don't have to bring it into the shop every several tens to whatever thousand miles,
Hmm.
um, for any tune-ups or any checkups or anything else, is worth it. Which is
Hmm.
why it still is ranking up there. It may not be the highest, but in terms of what it's offering, it still has a potential to me, rather than dismissing it entirely. But even still, we don't technically need it, and it also depends on where we are in the next year or so.
Interesting. The leaked rumored price of the range extender that people found on the source code of the website is oh, and they updated the website already, by the way, where they showed a picture of the range extender in the bed. So I'll send that to you guys.
What?
Okay.
It eats into your bed quite a bit, which is why
That's
I would be curious if
third of it.
that's a deal breaker, because the rumored price is $16,000.
Oh, no.
You could buy full self-driving with that much money. Think of the value.
FSD or 470 miles.
But I don't know, it's kind of big. I was trying to remind people, because a lot of people saw range extender and just pictured like this duffel bag type thing that you just throw in the back. I was like, no. If you're pushing a vehicle that large, an additional 130 miles, that's going to require probably more than an extra 50 kilowatt hours, which is basically means an entire Model 3 standard range battery. You're taking an entire Model 3 standard range battery pack and adding that as an add-on. And it's probably permanent. I don't think this is a module like, oh, when you need the bed space, you can take it out. No, probably not for free, at least. Maybe you could ask Tesla to take it out, but then they'll charge you for the labor. And then how does that affect your charging curve? If you've got two separate big battery packs. Again, this would have been great to talk about during the event. We had so much time. We had time to kill. Instead, Franz is playing wiffle ball or whatever he threw. What did he throw? A tennis ball?
He's playing softball with the thing with the lip.
It seemed like it's softball, yeah.
He threw with his weak, not dominant hand.
He had like the little Nerf football.
He did.
Watch this guy.
He had a pitcher's stance 4 years ago. This one, he went.
And it went. It made the little squeaky door. So
Yeah.
I got to admit, and there was a whole panic for about 30 minutes. Everyone thought the Cybertruck was going to have a gas-powered range extender, and I was like, they didn't. Did they? Did they go that far?
That'd be
And I
so
don't think they
hilarious if they walked back on like their whole lineage of we are an EV company to be like, here's a gas generator.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, Elon's been acting weird lately, but I don't think that weird. That's some tweet. Global warming isn't that bad. Oh boy, here we go.
This is pretty much what I thought it looked like, though, with the range extender in it. It sounds about right that basically, in what you were saying, Drew, that it's a permanent install, which makes me a little bit less interested in it, because one thing that I thought about as a nice use case is being able to just take it out for daily driving. So that way you're not carrying around all this weight.
Yeah,
and being
that's
able
been
to
pitched.
use all of your bed.
People have suggested that in the past, but it's mostly because I think people don't understand how heavy batteries are. Like, just to get to picture like, I don't know, a Rivian Bluetooth speaker size battery, that's probably going to be like 4 kilowatt hours. And to get meaningful range into a truck with modules that you could actually remove and put in yourself, you would just need so many pieces, or you'd need a forklift, or it's not a simple just put in new cells. Cells are not energy dense enough, which is why I hate to say it, but the RAM thing kind of has a point with the whole energy density advantage of gasoline. You can carry.
Say it, Drew. Say it. Don't hate it. Just say it.
You can carry 100 kilowatt hours worth of energy. You can't extract it, but you can carry it in a big gasoline jug. You can't just pack an extra 50 kilowatt hours of batteries in your backpack or in the bed or something without a big. I mean, I will acknowledge, though, one advantage of this mindset Tesla is doing with, after the fact, we'll add more range. It will probably convince a lot of people to take delivery of the dual motor. Even though the range isn't great, they go, okay, I'll extend it in the future. Tesla didn't announce the price, so they basically can make a sale and then profit later and still we lived up to the promises.
Or
Smart.
profit immediately, promise for later.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sure they're not going to lose money on the range extender. They're going to make sure that's a profitable accessory as well. It saves them
Well, as an
time,
accessory.
and they get to qualify with the tax credit while you wait, which is a
Yeah.
big. I didn't think they would do this because it's kind of weird, but I got to admit there is some genius to that price structure wise. We sell you a truck for under 80 grand, and that way you qualify for the rebate, and it's more like 72 and a half grand. And then later on, you can spend 16 grand on the range extender, and that ends up being under 90,000 for a Cybertruck that goes 470 miles.
Not terrible.
Not horrible. I mean, obviously not great. It's not a cheap truck, but there's not a lot of electric trucks that could go that far on a charge right now. Pretty much there isn't
Right.
any. Rivian just barely hit 400. But the charging curve is going to affect my recommendation a lot, because if that makes your supercharging sessions take an hour because that separate module that they added has to be charged separately now, that's going to eat into your total trip time. So
That's rough.
yeah, I don't know.
I just did a big
Pretty
trip.
rough, buddy.
Well, I did multiple
Oh, yeah.
big trips, but I did one with driving. And I'm like, oh, a 7-hour commute turns into a 10-hour commute. And that's rough when you have a child, an infant child. That's bad. I'm
Right.
like, oh, man, the thought of having to charge it anymore, I'm like, nope, let's just get me 20 minutes in. Because it's like, I forget the movie Jason Bateman's in, where
Oh, identity theft?
is it? Where it's like the moment the vehicle comes to a stop, and I'll do the podcast version, the censored version is like, the heck you are, absolutely not. Like the moment the car comes to a stop, he and just gone. Like, oh, I'm not even want to wait the 30 minutes. I just want to get the bare minimum to get to the next stop and just keep
Yeah,
going. It's
Right.
rough. And the idea of having to elongate a charge any longer, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And no extender. I mean, in the sense of a trip, because like, why would you need, or I'd say need, but why would you want an extender for your battery if not for these longer commutes? Which means you are
Towing.
Yeah, but even then, you have to get those things charged at a supercharger. I mean, maybe at the house, but like that's gonna take a while. Like you need to get to a supercharger. You need to be juicing. Like it's just there's more logistics involved now, and it just feels messy. And I get it. Like so maybe it helps on a tax benefit thing, but then it's like, well, you're gonna pay more than what the rebate offers anyway. At this point, I would have just put my money towards something bigger if we could make that happen.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like if they would have just put all of those cells in the truck and made a 500-mile range, no range extender, then it would have probably cost 90 to 100 grand, and then it wouldn't qualify. Now they found a loophole. Biden will love
I think
this
the people
one.
who are going to spend that much money don't care about a $7,500 rebate the same way. You'll take it. Don't get me wrong.
I don't know.
I'll take free money. I'll take write-offs all day.
I mean, people with a certain high income wouldn't qualify anyway, but I think there are a lot of people that qualify for the truck. But like Mike.
then now we get into a different philosophical discussion about who should be buying that type of vehicle if you have the money. Like that's
no one. But
no one, but it will sell. People will buy it. Marquez
guys-
will have that car in his collection.
oh, he has it now. He's had it for 3 weeks.
2 weeks.
Were you guys disappointed by the lack of charging discussion? Like the website still says 250 kilowatts max.
I haven't even thought about it until this very moment. So I guess not disappointed. You know what it is, because I
was.
checked out after I realized that okay, we're not even going to entertain maybe getting this. Okay, we're going to check out now. The Cybertruck. It's kind of like there's so much hype that went into this that it's like a chapter just came to a close. It's like we're done. There's no more anticipation. There's no more like we do have questions, but there's no more like upfront questions when it comes to like just give me price, give me range,
Those were the
give
big
me.
ones, and we got
And we
them.
got them right, and now it's like very little is left to the imagination about what is. It's still a cool truck. Like, don't get me wrong. I think it's great, but it's like
I love the look, which is why the single motor is so captivating to me. I'm like, if you buy this without the thought or expectation this is going to be a 500-mile range towing
yeah,
machine,
yeah.
I'm like, no, just look at it as kind of a cool looking. It's got a big bed. It's got the second row seats fold up. I don't know if you saw that, but it's got
Yeah.
some good storage, and it can supercharge. So that's check, check, check. You know?
Check, check, check. But now it's like I'm my head immediately, and maybe because either it's glutton for punishment or maybe because it's like it's still not here. But my first thought is like, I wonder what the next the first update of this vehicle will look like. I wonder what next gen Cybertruck is gonna like. My head's
Or the
there
competition
now.
as well.
Especially the oh yeah, absolutely, Mike. Yeah, heck yeah. I'm definitely curious with how competition will respond because they
How
will
is Ford going to
respond.
respond to this? Is Ford going to output a F200 Lightning and then one up the Cybertruck
What's
with towing
Porsche gonna
capability
say
and
about
range?
all of this?
Yeah, really. It will be interesting to see how the market responds. What
Yeah.
I will admit surprised me, and I should have seen coming, I guess, because of the size, is that the Rivian, I believe, is more efficient than the Cybertruck.
That's hilarious.
So Randy is going to be a Rivian household at some point.
Always has been.
Always has. that was me reacting to the live chat today. Everyone goes, "Wait, the range and price sucks," and then it's me. Always has. That was the story I was pushing. That was the narrative from the beginning, and there were some people that were like very disappointed by the range, and I was like, I was seeing all the leaks and stuff. I thought we were going to be lucky to get 300. We got 340. I was like, whew, thank goodness.
Pretty
And
good.
the price qualified for the credit. So I was pleasantly surprised, honestly, by the rice and the range for the all-wheel drive.
Right.
If you were,
That's the only real one we should be talking about.
yeah, the Cyberbeast is kind of a joke in my opinion. It's like, okay, you're the performance guy that wants the truck, but
Yeah.
And the rear-wheel drive doesn't exist yet.
yeah.
So
But
the
I'm
only one
glad to get
that's
confirmation, like they committed a price to the rear-wheel drive. That's
and an acceleration and the range is still 250 estimated. But
it's still, which is fine because if you're like me, you're like, well, as long as you're not towing, it's more about the charging and the charging curve. I wanted to look at some of the specs because they removed a lot of information on the single motor. Another little detail, I don't know if you guys caught, but the battery and powertrain warranty is longer.
thank goodness.
Battery and drive unit goes 8 years or 150,000 miles, which
That's
I
promising.
think
come
it
first.
used to be 100,000. Yeah, they didn't
This
give away
truck.
the weight
And
of
it's
the rear-wheel
also
drive.
steel.
Kia and Hyundai with their 100,000-mile warranty. Take that. Now Cybertruck has the best warranty.
All we know about the rear-wheel drive is 250-mile range, 6.5 seconds 0 to 60, and 7,500 pounds worth of towing. But if you're towing, I don't think you're buying this one. This isn't the
That's
towing.
still already better than what my truck does. So
Really? Oh, nice.
yeah, mine does like
Mike.
45, I think.
Can we wait a
Okay.
minute?
No, stop. I know what you're doing.
Can we get the range extender in the
That's what I was thinking.
put the range
Like,
extender in the oh my god, rear-wheel
if you
drive.
do the range extender in there, that's an extra. Oh goodness, was it boost on the? What's the math?
Ooh.
I haven't done the math with this. You could probably get the rear-wheel drive up to like maybe 410.
Ooh.
No, 400.
I don't know. It depends on how big.
380?
No, the battery has to be smaller in the rear-wheel drive too. It's not just a powertrain thing. Otherwise, the range would have
Right.
been better. So they probably put 100
Also, it's
kilowatt
near
hours.
payload.
That's true.
How much does this thing weigh when you put it in there, and which then it probably takes it down? It probably just adds up to a
Ooh.
Ram 1500 4x4 V6 at the end of the day of capability and range while towing.
Can I ask? Let me ask you this: do you think the rear-wheel drive Cybertruck will be LFP?
Ooh, no. I don't think so. No. Nope.
Explain. Show your work.
Pretty sure.
Explain your reasoning.
Well, I drew 2 1s and then a big 0 to make a shocked face. Shocked Pikachu face. Only because they want to stream... but it's a different... Yeah. I think they want to streamline the production of these trucks, in which introducing LFP into the mix while already trying to satisfy the amount of dual motors and Cyberbeasts, I think would maybe complicate the line a bit, per se.
Okay.
That's my easy, safe theory, but I'm more than happy to be corrected on, especially if that means that we can get a LFP Cybertruck, which means it basically lasts forever.
Yeah, you got amazing steel aging and high cycle life. But the only other counter argument I could think of is the 4680s are meant to be structural and LFP is not, so maybe that doesn't work with the platform or something. But yeah.
Would you get one, Randy, if it was a LFP rear-wheel drive Cybertruck? Would that tickle your fancy?
Thing that sells in this household, and it's range. I don't know. No,
And they compromised.
I don't know, man. I'll be honest. Like I, the only thing I care about, I wouldn't even get the extender, to be honest. Like when I think about it, because the whole point of getting a truck is because I need the bed space. I'm not going to give up the bed space. So,
Yeah. But when comparing a Rivian to a Cybertruck in terms of bed space, like, you're going to have bigger bed space in the Cybertruck. But if you want the range, you're probably going to end up in the same amount of room in the bed if you get a range extender with the Cybertruck when comparing it to a Rivian with its bed space.
Because I'm not a truck owner, but looking at the picture of the range extender, my rough guess is that kind of kills a lot of the purpose of having a bed in the first place. Like,
it's a
I'm trying
third
to
of the
figure
bed
out.
according to the seat or the techno king of the company.
Well, just look at the picture. I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like, that's a lot less storage.
I agree. And I'm not happy about it.
I think Rivian has better storage capacity because shape matters
Especially
too, and I
with
need to
the
be able to I need to put in fancy 2x4s. That's what a man does. No.
It doesn't even have to fit in the bed per se. It can stick out a bit. That's what people do already. That's what I've done in the past with really long 2x4s. They just stick on the back.
My point is, I don't want to spend so much more money on an extender. I know I'm not hauling horses, for example, so for me it's not applicable. And I'm not taking road trips with the Cybertruck. It would be the workhorse in my dedicated town or city or whatever, like just things to get done. Like that's not my overnight vehicle. That's not my overnight vehicle. And so I don't see for me, for my use case, why I would need the extender. I would rather have the bed space and save money and allocate however much more time it takes to charge then per stops. This is already longer if we're talking the now initially you asked me about LFP, so this would be the single motor, but altering the question a bit here, pray I don't alter it any further. If I got the all-wheel drive, that's the best range one. It's already longer and it's bigger than it's already the most range that we could have than any vehicle I've had so far. So it already exceeds even the long range Model 3. I think I would be fine with just taking an all wheel drive Cybertruck as is, go like this, done. And it's the best. It would be it's the best packaged one overall for what you need a truck to do, and for how far you need to take the son of a gun, and it's cleaner.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with add-ons and this that and manipulating range and extenders. It's just I want a clean, smooth transaction with this thing, and what you get is what you pay for is what you get, and then that'd be that. Like I LFP, cool. Honestly, single motor should probably be the best one when that comes. I think that should be the best selling one for
Best price per dollar.
It won't be, but it should be, is how I feel.
It should. Right, it should be. But
that's what most people need out of a truck, is to go to the grocery store and back.
yeah.
So
They need to tell you
That
that,
one will get
they
the
can't
job
fit
done.
into their pants. The men can't fit into their pants, and so they need a big truck. That's what they're trying to tell you. So just get a single motor. And
there's
then,
no badging. No one can tell it's the single motor from the
That's
outside.
right. I just smacked my knuckle on the desk, and it hurts so bad.
That sounded
right
so painful. But
now. I
You need a
cracked
Cybertruck
4
for your
knuckles.
hand.
you need to put the beast mode on the back of your single motor, the branding, so you feel like you have $100,000 Cybertruck.
I can't cross my legs when I sit down. I just want you to know that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No, that's, if I had to buy
Anyway.
one, I would get that one.
Yeah.
After tax credit, that's like a $55,000 truck.
It's not 40
Not
though.
including local incentives.
Well, factor in 2019 inflation till now, it's pretty close, right?
Nope. Actually, that's a good question. Let's do. I'm gonna do a quick calculator math on that. I don't think it is.
I
Let's
think
see.
it's probably like so $39,990 was the original starting price announcement, which I feel like most people all accepted was not going to happen. But $39,990, now they're saying $69,990. I'm factoring in some incentives, which is kind of cheating, but I'm in love with the rear wheel drive, so I'm doing everything I can here.
$39,990.
In 2019
Would bring
Tail
you
end of 2019, by the way.
No, don't.
to $48,125.96.
Okay. So
Here,
it's like
for
seven
our-
grand more than we thought.
Boom, screenshot and drag and drop that sucker.
That's not
There you go.
terrible.
Not as bad as I thought. I thought the single motor was dead and we were just going to get $80,000 and $100,000 dual motor, tri-motor options, and we ended up getting a single motor, which Rivian doesn't have a single motor. F-150 doesn't have a single motor. So it's kind of surprising that they're willing to go there, but
I do find it comical that if you get a dual motor with the Rivian, you get more range than
Yeah.
the dual motor performance and the quad motor. But
with a
the-
smaller
I love
battery.
that. I love that.
But with the dual motor Cybertruck, you get less range, no matter what.
That kind of surprised me, honestly. I thought the Cybertruck with its kind of sleek rear profile would get better range. Like I thought
guess
it would
rear-wheel
use
drive.
this.
I guess it's single motor. My bad.
Mm,
The allegory still stands. The
Yes.
cheapest one you can get. Well, anyways, finish your sentence. I
the
totally. just threw
Rivian's
us
still
off.
more expensive, though. That's the one caveat.
Is it?
Yeah, the dual motor with the large pack is about the same.
Okay.
I guess maybe a little
We're
more.
at the end of the year, and I use it on tech. I'm gonna use my one curse word for EV.
Pretty sure.
Don't you
used
start
it.
typing.
Okay.
You take your fingers off the keyboard, Drew. All right, what were you saying about keep your hands there? You got me. Walter White, you got me.
You got me.
You said Rivian is more expensive still?
Starts at 70.
I'm checking. Well, that's with the
Okay.
standard pack, right?
Dual motor, all-wheel drive. Standard pack is 270. Large pack is 352 miles.
More range.
So,
but what's
still
the
more
large
range.
pack starting price of the Rivian?
79.
Oh,
No incentives.
so they're the same price.
Cool, so I can say it. You shut your whore mouth. It's not more expensive.
Well,
I
there's
am
more
s-
paint options and tire options that the Cybertruck will
there's
have.
just more, whatever. Mike, you take your nasty, freaking, disgusting.
And the Cybertruck can power your house.
That's kind of cool. Hey, I have to ask. This is EV. It's close enough. What you changed your mind about solar panels? Why, Drew?
When did I change my
Ooh,
mind?
changing the subject.
No, I needed because he said charge your house, and I'm like, that's so true and that's so cool. But Mr. Erickson here was like, no, it's a waste of money. Okay, so you're not pulling from the grid. He did a whole video on this.
I said
and we
why it
talked
didn't
about
make
it
sense for us.
No, you
doesn't
had
mean
a
it's a
bigger
bad
picture about how this won't work out 10, 20, whatever years from now because of the fact that they will find other ways to get the money out of you.
I don't
and then
think
all of a sudden
that's
you're
what I
like,
said.
well, you said
I said there was a greater than, I think I said something like there's a greater than 0% chance that the utility companies and city governments are going to have to find another way to maintain the grid, and there's not going to be a future where everybody just that doesn't mean solar is a bad idea. It just means
but you did think it was a waste of money. That was your thesis of the whole thing.
I said it didn't make sense for us. It said it doesn't mean it doesn't make sense for anybody. Like in our specific situation, it didn't make economic sense. But
then yet somehow it just started making sense for you last week, didn't it, Drew? Didn't it?
Why did it make sense?
I'm pulling up the tweet. You are not going to gaslight me.
What did I say?
I'm pulling up the tweet.
All I said was that the solar roof is not available in our area, and that sucks because we're getting a new roof soon. That's all I said.
Soon.
Hopefully the roof's not dropping, but
new roof landing soon.
Man, I can't believe he threw a baseball at the window.
That was pretty silly. I think they should have doubled down.
Yeah.
It would have been so much more interesting, especially if it
broke.
Failed. Then it's totally okay. Because even so, it's like, well, it's still the same as 4 years ago. At least it does that. But instead, they're going to leave it up to everyone and their mother to test it out on their own
Tesla
truck and then reap the benefits of the cost.
They so
no matter
often
what,
do.
It's going to happen anyway.
They do these little weird scammy things. I don't like it. Do you think they genuinely were hoping no one would notice?
They keep on trying to sell me on crypto every day. It's getting
I know. Those live streams.
I'm back in the conversation. What's scammy? What happened?
Well, I mean, FSD for one. That's a whole subject. But
done.
Secondly,
yes,
they did not acknowledge that it was a baseball. Do you think
it's
do you think they were hoping no one would notice?
It was a soft pitch baseball this time instead of a You know why? Because they knew they were full of baloney then, and they're full of baloney and boutage now.
Just they did mention armored glass though in the back. Drew called it on his live stream in the background on the projector.
They called it armored glass.
Said armored glass.
They didn't feel very confident.
Yeah.
They should have called it baseball proof from a weak throw. I bet if you got a professional pitcher to throw it, it probably still could shatter.
I issue this challenge to anybody out there who sees this. If you have a better throwing arm than Franz, you go out there and you just yeet and just make my stock price drop again, please.
Oh my gosh. Can I go off subject for a second?
Okay.
I was just scrolling through Twitter.
Of course you were.
First mistake. I was looking for answers. Apparently there's a Cybertruck for kids for $1,500, by the way, if you want a little one.
All right. So
now Randy's going to buy a Cybertruck.
Sage could get his own truck. But
It's
I got
time.
an ad for the Scientology network.
Oh, okay.
So,
What do they want now?
shout out to all those advertisers that are still on Twitter, Hey, we support Elon. We
When I grow up, I
And
want to be just like Tom
picture-
Cruise.
I picture the Patrick Warburton character in Up. That's Elon right now. He's going, I am not with him. That is not. We're taking their ad money. That doesn't mean we endorse. But I was like, that's the first Scientology network ad I've gotten on Twitter. So
Oh
that's
my
fun.
God.
Right.
They have a tailgate ramp for sale on the Tesla shop.
What? Where? Where?
But it's not what you think it is.
Oh, God. Where?
Oh.
Is it an innuendo
Send me.
of some sort?
Where's the
Yeah, I'm
link?
sending it right now. Oh,
Okay.
goodness.
Yeah, there's the link.
Cybertruck tailgate ramp. Oh,
Whoa.
It's
No,
it's
that's
basically
just
what
a
I
ramp.
have. Yeah,
don't call it a
Tailgate ramp.
tailgate ramp.
That's a
that's
ladder.
what it's called.
That's
No,
it's $400.
I've got one of these, and it's actually engineered a bit better. I think.
Oh, look,
No,
it
is
has the little
doesn't tell
Cybertruck
stuff.
logo on the side. That's
How
why it's
dare they
$400.
pull Apple strategy branding of we're gonna upsell.
Oh, they added the accessories to the website.
Yeah, you can get the little shattered
camp.
glass sticker.
I like the base camp thing.
Wow, there's so much. Hey, they have a cleat.
Vault cargo bins. Oh, that's not what the range extender is.
No. That's
Center
what people were
console
thinking
tray,
it was.
$40.
They have an air compressor. they're not building
What?
it into the truck. You can buy it for $550 as an add-on.
There's a
as
lot
in
of
bin.
accessories.
Oh, it never ends. Same
Air
with the
compressor
Cyber
Ultra and tire repair kit, $550. A spare
Wait,
tire
it
that
said bestseller. How do they know it's a bestseller?
And some of it's already sold out too.
Oh, they're making money right now. Jeez. Oh, you can get a matte black wrap for $6,500.
I see.
The other thing that confuses me is you can get a clear paint film.
Yes.
What? Doesn't that negate the entire point?
Cybertruck, oh my God decal. I love it.
You can add the glass back to it, I guess.
This is
They
perfect.
made cargo bins. I like the base camp tent. I would
I
like
don't.
something like. What's wrong with it, Mike? What's wrong with you?
It's just
What's
what's
wrong
wrong
with
with you?
Yeah, Mike, what's wrong with
Look at it.
Everything.
It makes so
Everything.
much more
Cyber
sense.
wheel cover. Nice.
It makes no
Says
sense.
$5.
Oh. Okay, first off, I don't think that the rear window opens, does it?
Nope. I don't think so.
So you won't get HVAC in the tent.
Nope. You don't get HVAC in the back of a Rivian tent either. Or I guess in
Yeah,
the tent on the Rivian.
I know.
Base
there was
camp
a
is so
chance.
cool though.
It looks great, and it folds up and everything. It's only $3,000. Wow. So
For my next
affordable.
home, it's only $3,000 on top of the.
Yeah. They should throw
Everything
that in
is-
with the Cybertruck.
You can get a ball opener that attaches to the truck too. just get the
Everything is
cleat.
awesome. Colored
Or
paint
just-
film.
Have you seen these? Oh, that's a vault cargo divider. That's what that pattern thing is.
Oh, gee.
Hey, you
Gear
can, it's not
locker.
just black. You can make it white as well. You get to choose your
Which
option.
one?
It's white or black.
For which? The tent?
Cybertruck colored paint film.
Oh,
You click on it, you get to choose your colors. There's of all white and all black.
I don't see that.
Click on it.
I did. It's open. It's clear. It's
do it
gray.
again.
Select style. It's right under select style.
It's not there for me.
Oh, that's cool. Wow, it looks really good in white.
Where is it? I can't find it.
It's the
Drew.
first option.
Are you drunk? Hang on.
Look at my webpage right now. I swear this has happened to me all day. Everyone's like, just click right here.
Just click it, Drew.
I'll show you.
Drew's
It's not
blind.
there for mine. I'm not blind. Look, that's what mine looks like. Show me the button in that screenshot.
You're on the wrong one.
You're looking at
There's-
you're looking at satin clear. Look at the color paint film.
That's what he called it.
Cybertruck color paint film. No, I said
No.
Cybertruck color paint. I'm so glad Mike's editing this week.
You said clear. All right. Yeah, it
I
looks
said
good in white.
Cybertruck color paint film. I read off
I'm
of it
angry,
'cause
but
it's silly.
I
are
agree
drunk. Drunk
Who's
man
gonna
don't
get the
edit.
first
I'm the one
white-
drinking out of the stein.
I'm drinking out of my Pepsi
You're right.
can.
Drinking water.
The white Cybertruck looks beautiful.
I know I'm right. I know I'm white.
Wait, which places? You
so
can
much
only
sense
get
in
it Tesla Service Center, West Covina, and Carlsbad. Those are the only places that'll do it.
What up, represent Carlsbad? Did my rap. Let's go.
The crossbars are $800.
That's
How much
disgusting.
do the
You're
Rivian
disgusting.
ones cost?
Good question. Let's find out. Gear shop.
I like how we're just doing all this.
Cargo crossbars. Here they are.
Cross-shopping.
The Rivian ones are $650.
All right, hang on. You're right, Mike. You're right. We could do this later. We have all the time in the world. Why are we still? I don't want to waste people's time.
All right.
You know.
We've only got a few minutes left. Final
So-
thoughts.
Final
conclusions.
thoughts. So you got to see an Aptera this past week. That was kind of cool.
No.
we are not-
Let's ask
we are
about.
not
I'm more
wrapping-
interested in. No,
So
I'm
we're
asking,
not summarizing
this is
that
the
experience.
This is the Cybertruck. This is
I
the
could fill a
culmination
3-hour
of.
podcast with that.
We'll do that
Aptera
next
thing.
week if we ever
Okay.
get to it next week. If we can schedule that on our busy
Wherever
schedules
Randy
again.
is.
Apologies,
Where
but
Randy is.
Drew, what did you think of seeing the Cybertruck in person? Tell me and Randy all
great.
the juicy details that you didn't. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
What do you think seeing Aptera in person? Tell me and Mike
my
and
God.
detail. It's great.
In person, I liked the dimensions. It wasn't as crazy huge as I thought it was going to be. A lot of people wish it was bigger. I think all trucks in general could be smaller and more efficient with their design. And I like the wheels look huge. They don't. The pictures
Did you
don't
notice
do
it
the
was
wheels
rounder on the
justice.
glass in person?
Yes, you
Because
could tell a
I
little
did
bit
when
more.
I visited my showroom as well, my local showroom. I'm like, because I was curious on what you were seeing, so I saw it as well. I'm like, it's actually a little bit more curvy than I thought. So I was
Yeah, a
wondering
little
if there's any surprises that you found as well while looking at it.
I didn't know they put a little triangle on the backup camera to cover it. That was news to me. The build quality was not great, but I wasn't expecting it to be good. And yeah, I like the size. I like the look in person. It catches eyes. And if the used market is a lot lower for the rear-wheel drive in a few years and we end up needing a truck, then I think it'd be a great option. Cheaper than a Rivian, I think.
Shut
Possibly.
your.
How much editing you want me to do this week, Randy?
I stopped. I didn't say nothing.
Sure.
He said everything. All right. How about you guys? Were the final takeaways? Disappointed? Excited? Were you
I'm
whelmed?
glad we got there. I'm just glad we have answers.
It's refreshing to kind
I-
of close this chapter.
Yes.
Yeah, I was
more
gonna
fun.
say
I feel
after
that way, too.
162 episodes for you guys. For me, it's of course a bit less. It's been 162 episodes for you guys talking about the Cybertruck. This podcast
Yeah.
was born because of the Cybertruck.
Yeah, we didn't start EV until after Cybertruck was announced. That's how
Yeah,
long
but
we've
even
been doing
still,
this.
it's been 162 episodes since you guys decided to organize a podcast. And
Yeah.
now we're finally at delivery day, quote unquote, for the first deliveries for
So what Mike is saying
employees
is,
and all
welcome
that.
to the series finale of Tailosive EV.
Wait, so should we do our price guesses now? No.
And the
How
problem
about
is, Drew, I've never changed my answer.
Instead of price guesses, how many do you think will be delivered by the end of the year?
Nope, the game's over. I won.
10.
I will not play your games anymore. How many went off that line today?
I think they did more than 10.
Oh, however many
Well,
went
then
off
that
that
many.
line, that's it.
My dad is texting me information right now. It's hilarious.
Did you know that the Cybertruck...
My dad's texting me that Musk confirmed that the range extender is a battery that fits in the bed. He must be rewatching the live stream. Thanks, Dad.
Probably.
Appreciate you.
I guess the one burning question that I had after this whole delivery event and talking with you guys in this podcast, and also recollecting on the fact that it's been 162 episodes of this podcast, are you worried about the Cybertruck?
No. I think it'll do great. I think the range and the price, a lot of people are going to buy it. A lot of people are going to love it. And it's not perfect. The range extender is a bit of a compromise, but I think in time with better energy dense cells, they'll improve the range and maybe get to a point where they don't need the extender anymore. But yeah, I think it'll do great.
Randy.
Hang on. What's it called? Where is it? I gotta see it real quickly. Wait.
It's called the Cybertruck, Randy.
Wait.
It's a new electric vehicle Tesla just
I'm worried about the
started.
Cyberbeast.
Oh, there you go. Just the Beast. That's the only one.
I'm worried about the Cyberbeast.
I just realized that there's no rockets attached to this thing. It's doomed.
It's
No
doomed.
SpaceX package.
Elon
It's
reviewing
not
the
made out
Roadster
of.
design.
It's not made out of Starship parts. It's not even close.
I just
What is
realized this thing doesn't have rocket engines attached. I'm glad. Oh, another sneak peek. I'm glad they caught the footage of the drone getting hit by the Raptor engine.
I missed that.
I'm glad.
That's
It's very
fine, though.
quick, but they showed the footage and the Raptor engine goes right into the camera and then they cut. And I was like, oh, okay, good. They got the footage. They lost out on a $4,000 drone, but they got the shot out of it. So
Oh well.
good
And now
job,
we're also
Tesla.
paying for that drone.
Good event. Good information. Now we wait for
Good podcast.
hands-on. Good podcast. We went longer than the event itself. My God.
Yeah,
Did
it's
we?
true.
Guess we did. Not including
good.
wait times, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you all.
All right.
Appreciate you. And we'll talk more about Aptera in more depth in a future episode.
Can't
Stay
wait.
tuned. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I love tech. I love all things that better our lives, and I know I'm going to love this truck. And the thought of the truck gets me excited when I think about it. But I'm trying to do the Drew approach. You know, anyone who's familiar with how Drew does things, he tries to really lower his expectations so he doesn't, have an accident in his pants. And he's like, oh my god, it's going to be more.
I wouldn't do that. This grew on me. At first I was a little bit off-put by it, but the more I realized some people hated it and some people loved it and how divisive it was, that just made me love it more. I love the fact that it breaks so many norms. And
It's a car version of you.
It shatters the norm. So even the fact that it's not universally liked is what made me like it, I guess. That's the fact that it sits on the fence for people.